If you're just beginning your One Piece journey, or you're helping someone along with theirs, allow me to save you from rewatching 1,000 episodes, even though you probably should, and let's be honest, you probably will. Today, we're breaking down devil fruits, how they're classified, how their powers works, their strengths, their weaknesses, and even a few bits of trivia that even the most hardened One Piece fans may have forgotten due to, the 1,000+ episodes. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Let's start at the absolute beginning. What is a devil fruit? Devil fruits are mysterious, canonically disgusting fruits that grant the consumer a unique power or ability. When I say unique, I truly mean it. These aren't your run-of-the-mill, oh, I can fly, oh, I have super speed, oh, I have super strength. Okay, so technically there is a devil fruit that gives you strength called the strong fruit, but you get what I'm talking about. These power range drastically. Some let you turn into a dragon. Some let you turn into a jacket. Some let you create an endless amount of candy, and others let you become literal magma. One Piece does not discriminate. But how does this work? Even the world's greatest scientist, Dr. Vegapunk, who ate the brain fruit, technically making him the smartest person in the universe, still couldn't give us a cut and dry answer. But let's talk about the fundamentals that we absolutely do know. Maybe theory craft later on. Before we do that, here's your first bit of One Piece trivia. Did you know that devil fruit users get their powers off the very first bite? You do not have to consume the entire thing. We just said it's disgusting. People choose to eat that. Why? I don't know. If you want to be a scammer, for real, you and the mans could try to split a devil fruit. Whoever bites it first gets the power. Y'all could do that. Y'all not splitting the power though. That's not how this works. Or if you wanted to be shicey about it, you could take a small bite, patch it up, cover it up, dress it up, and then sell it off to a pirate and make millions of berries, because at the end of the day, devil fruits are very expensive. Now, whether you survive scamming somebody out of the millions of berries, that's your problem. But, little fact. Devil Fruits 101, let's lock in the basics. There cannot naturally be two devil fruits of the same name or ability. They can be similar, but there will never naturally be two devil fruits with the same name. For example, the dice fruit lets you turn your body into blades. You could turn your arm into a blade. You could have a spinning yamin. You could have blade fingers. Freddy Krueger with the action. You could do what you want, but essentially, you are a blade person. Congratulations. With that being said, there's also another devil fruit called the arms fruit, which lets you turn your arms into blades, or a scythe, or a kunai, or a missile. You could shoot a bazooka. Kaboom. Kablam. So the power is same, but different. It's kind of the same, but it's also definitely not the same. You get it. The ceiling is different. The imagination of the person was different, but we'll get into that. And devil fruits get passed on from user to user, but this only happens typically once the previous user perishes. At the end of the day, once you pass away, your devil fruit reincarnates into a typically nearby, fruit of some sort. You can't control where it goes. There are theories that you can host a bunch of fruits near you and it might go there. But at the end of the day, whenever you perish, your devil fruit escapes and reincarnates immediately, mind you, immediately. Devil fruits are kind of like energy. They can never truly disappear. They just get dispersed until it gets its next victim. User. You know how it is. Devil fruits are simply ridiculous. You eat a fruit and suddenly bullets phase right through you. Let's be honest, that's pretty OP. So how does the One Piece world balance that? Simple way is, it limits how many devil fruits you can have, and that limit is very strict. It's one. You can only have one devil fruit at a time. It's said that if a person eats two devil fruits, their body will implode from the inside. Kaboom, kablam. Now, here's where another fun fact comes into play.
One Piece trivia.
We have never seen this happen. This is complete hearsay. At the end of the day, either no one is brave enough or rich enough or scary enough to try mixing two devil fruits. I understand that greed will definitely be your undoing. It is what it is. But we have never seen anyone perish from eating two devil fruits. We also haven't seen anyone eat more than one devil fruit. There's one person, but that's a completely different video because they're different, literally. And even though your body does change on the molecular level, after all, being able to turn into blades, obviously something inside of you's a little different. Your molecules got all rearranged. Phantom. But just because it's in your DNA does not mean you can pass this down. So I'm sorry, this is not My Hero Academia. Your child will not inherit your fiery magma fist just because you ate the magma fruit. That's not how it works. With that being said though, your kid is able to consume whatever devil fruit they find without penalty. So in case they didn't want to be, a magma man or have a Windex head, congratulations, they are free to make their own choices. Even if they want to make a dumb choice like turning into a jacket, you gotta love them. We talked about the limitations of how each person can only consume one devil fruit, but that's not the only way that they kind of limit this power. Because here's the catch. The sea rejects devil fruit users. The moment you take that first bite, you can no longer swim. I don't care if you was Michael Phelps. You are now, I don't know anyone who's notoriously bad at swimming, so insert them here. You can't swim. Game over. Even if you were a fish man, someone who can breathe underwater, you are stationary. You are humbled. We've seen it happen to a giant mammoth of a man. But guess what? You can breathe underwater because you're a fish man, but you lose all strength, all power, and you cannot swim. Because the seawater saps your strength, the government is able to use this and convert it into like a weapon of some sort called sea stone. If this sea stone prism comes into contact with devil fruit users, it mitigates their devil fruit abilities, or at least the area where it touches. Why they don't have a whole bunch of this going around? Maybe it's really hard to work with. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the One Piece world is covered in like 80+%, maybe 90. Let's just say 80%. Over 80% of the One Piece world is water, meaning you no longer have free access to 80% of the world. That's quite a trade-off for power. And that's another way that One Piece helps balance out their devil fruit system. Let's get into the fun stuff, specifically talking about how we break down and classify these devil fruits. Simplest way to put it, devil fruits are categorized 3 different ways typically. There's Paramecia, Zoan, and Logia. And understanding how each of these classes fight truly changes how you view certain fights, because you can't attack a Paramecia user the same way you would attack a Zoan user. And you absolutely cannot fight a Logia user with the same mindset of a Zoan user. It's just not going to work. Let's explain why though. Let's start off with the most common, most overflowing, and most unpredictable type of devil fruit. Paramecia. Paramecia fruits typically grant abilities that can either 1. Augment or change your body, 2. Manipulate your surroundings somehow, or 3. Allow you to produce or create certain substances. But here's the tricky part. This is exactly what we talked about earlier, how he's saying these powers are unique, because Paramecias aren't like one power type. It's the literally everything else power type. So if the devil fruit doesn't let you become an animal or transform into a mythical creature, or if the devil fruit doesn't let you create or control or become a naturally occurring element or substance in nature, it's probably a Paramecia type. And I mean, like, they range so far. For example, there's a spring fruit, which lets you turn your body into springs. There's another devil fruit that lets you control gravity. There's another devil fruit that lets you create wax that can be as hard as steel. There's another one that lets you become poison, like you can spit and control all types of poison or venom. And there's another one that lets you become a fucking jacket, bro. Like, you see the similarities here? No, there aren't any similarities that draw Paramecias the same, and that's why it's such a gamble. If someone says, I'm a Paramecia user, you literally could expect anything. You can be like, all right, he can probably become one with the earth and transform into a giant castle. Some Paramecias permanently alter your body, making it so that your body's made out of rubber. Some let you produce substances, like the poison. Some manipulate abstract concepts like gravity or souls. And here's where things get a bit more interesting. According to Dr. Vegapunk, once again, the brain bowl, right? Devil fruits are the manifestation of people's desires. Each fruit represents someone wanting, wishing, like, I want to be like this. I want this ability. I wish this could happen. I want to do this. Devil fruits are essentially evolutionary paths of someone's imagination. Manifestation of someone's imagination. Someone wished to have a rubber body. Somebody wished to be able to move like light. Somebody wished to control gravity. Somebody wished to be a dog. Somebody wished to be a jacket. And somehow those desires became reality, which means Paramecia fruits might represent the strangest human wishes imaginable, because the jacket person, please, let's talk. We can talk about this. Who hurt you? Another fun fact, this one's for the newbies because I know the hardened ones are well aware of this, but Paramecia type awakenings no longer impact just you. You are able to manipulate the very surrounding with you. Whether you're able to touch that and turn that into mochi or turn it into strings itself, you are able to manipulate so much more once your devil fruit awakens. And awakening is something that's going to require its own separate video. But just know that devil fruits don't really have an upper limit because typically every power is only limited by your imagination. Up next we have the Zoan users, the wolf pack, the gang of them. Because the Zoan users are devil fruit users who consume the devil fruit that transform them into some type of animal. Each Zoan user typically has 3 generic forms. The 1, standard human form, they look real regular degular, you never know. 2nd, full animal form, you become a full bear, full dog, a full leopard. That's you got it. Full dragon even, full Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then we have the favorite form, and that is the hybrid form. You're a humanoid, so you got you walk on 2s, but you kind of got the scales of your dragon or the scales of your Tyrannosaurus Rex or the claws and the hair of a leopard. You look cool. To be honest, the hybrid forms typically look better than the full forms. I don't know why that is, but it just, something about a human evolving into an animal just look cool. Maybe because I like Animorphs growing up. I don't know. Y'all even know what Animorphs is? Nah. But each of these Zoans are not the limits because Zoans are classified differently as well. There's the regular Zoans, leopard, dog, cat, mole, stuff like that. There's a mole person, by the way. You'll probably see them soon if you're watching the live action. I don't know. We'll see. But then we have the ancient Zoans and the mythical Zoans. The ancient Zoans are the prehistoric type, the ones my godson are like. They're talking like dinosaurs, mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, vicious. And there's not like exact logic behind why the animals can do certain things. We just let it rock out because it's One Piece, so don't read into it too much. And then there's the mythical Zoans. Those are like the phoenix, the dragon. They even got a Buddha. There's a bunch of them, but I won't say it all. These ones typically have a humanoid-esque mythical type of essence around them, and they're typically having several powers along with it. Essentially, mythical Zoans are kind of like you have Zoan strength. By default, all Zoan users are naturally stronger, at least physically stronger, than their counterparts. Because, especially the carnivorous kind, by the way, if you are a carnivorous animal, by default, you're a bit stronger, but you also have a bloodlust kind of situation because you're carnivorous. You see blood, you want that John. There is no shark fruit, by the way, because, once again, no swimming. Back to the segue. Mythical Zoans often have multiple abilities. Like the dragon fruit, you're not just a dragon, you're a dragon that can breathe fire or lightning. Cool stuff. Mythical Zoans are kind of like Zoans mixed with Paramecias, but literally the best of both worlds. Here's another fun fact. Did you know that Zoans literally have a will of their own? Unlike Paramecia types, when Zoan types awaken, they can either go drastically well or drastically the opposite end. The first ones we've seen that were technically awakened were the Jailer Beasts and Impel Down. These guys have awakened devil fruits. However, their human mind lost the battle, and only thing that remains is the animal. So literally, the Jailer Beasts are literally just animals who took over a human body. The manifestation of the devil fruit, and they lost. That's it. We do later on, like way later on, I'm like 1,000 episodes in, see what a proper awakening looks like on the Zoan type, and man, that's tough. Not gonna lie, we've seen it. I won't spoil it for the new guys, but yeah, we finally get to see what an awakening does. Unlike the Paramecia type, you don't get to manipulate your surroundings. However, you are able to alter your form, granting you a whole slew of abilities, increased speed, strength, all that good stuff. Imagine just like your current stuff with a buff. That's it. It's not as cool as the Paramecia awakening to me, but doesn't mean someone else doesn't like it. But this brings us to like one of the darker spots. So like, when you eat a Zoan fruit, are you the only one in that body? Because if you are, how does this devil take over your body if you fail or have an improper awakening. Just something to think about. This is a little subsect, but there are human fruits, by the way. There are human fruits, right? Human fruits. There's one fruit, the human fruit. No model, no nothing, at least for right now. It allows the user to become human. Now, most of you people watching this, I mean like 99.87% of you guys watching this, probably human. The other percentage, I appreciate y'all, you know? But this is very useless if you are human. If you are just a regular human and you eat this fruit, you just ate a fruit. A nasty fruit at that. If I wanted a nasty fruit, I probably would have had some cantaloupe or something, because what is this? Why would you do that? However, if you were to feed this to another sentient creature, like, I don't know, a reindeer, that reindeer would now be able to talk and gain human intelligence. This is not time for speculation, people, like, oh, it allows you to be enlightened. No, I read the SBS, it's not confirmed. None of that is. So for right now, the human fruit just makes you human. But then we have the human fruit model, Buddha, human fruit. There's a couple other ones, I just won't spoil them for you. But just know that there are human fruits. There are human fruits model something. So no matter what you are, whether you're an animal or an entity or an item, because in the One Piece world, even items can consume devil fruits. I don't know how Vegapunk made that happen, but he did. It's magic. But yeah, even swords can eat devil fruits. Had a sword eat an elephant. A sword eat an elephant. A sword eat an elephant fruit, not an actual elephant. Come on, guys, that'd be silly. And finally, the strongest tier of devil fruits, the rarest tier, the gods of One Piece. Logia users. Logia fruits allow the user to create, control, transform into, and become any natural element. I mean, fire, ice, sand, light, lightning, magma, darkness, nature. You have a lot of options, and you are incredibly broken from the moment you eat it. And the main thing that makes Logia users so terrifying is their built-in intangibility. That means you can't be touched. If you are a regular person, you cannot touch a Logia user without suffering consequences. If you try to punch somebody whose body is made out of lightning, guess what's going to happen? That's right. You're going to get shocked, electrocuted even. You try to shoot them, bullets pass through them. You try to hit them with an arrow passes through them. Try to hit them with the sword, your sword passes through them. And you get shocked, bro. It's a bad look. The only way to touch a Logia user is to imbue yourself or your weapon with Haki. Or is to use an elemental counter. So if they're like sand, you have water on you because water makes the sand clump up, and for whatever reason, that makes them vulnerable. One Piece trivia. That's some plot stuff. But without Haki, and we didn't know what this was until later on, you literally can't be touched. You are a walking menace. You could pick a fight anywhere and be completely unscathed. Ah, that's so broken. Early Grand Line arcs made all the Logia users like gods. Like we had Enel, Crocodile. Aokiji walked up and froze a whole crew calmly. Froze the ocean and the sea beast. Easily, bro. They were absolute nightmares. But then Haki entered the story and gods were able to bleed. You love to see it. Another fun fact, Logia users can impact an entire ecosystem. Punk Hazard is permanently scarred. Half hot, half cold. Todoroki moment on some permanent stuff. All because two Logia users clashed for days. Their clashes were strong enough to literally change the climate permanently. 10 days of fighting did that. Imagine if they went somewhere else with it. Imagine if their fight traversed beyond a singular island. They could probably change the climate of an entire continent if they wanted to, you know, ransack some stuff. But that was all a side effect. That wasn't the goal. That was just them duking it out. Crazy work. Whether you're a Logia type, a Paramecia, or a Zoan type, all Devil Fruit users still share that same weakness. The same. Seawater drains them and immobilizes them. The only exception that we've seen so far will be San Juan Wolf, because he was so big, his feet were touching the ground. His feet were on the seabed while he walked, but even he mentioned that he was weakened by doing so. The seed can still be used to suppress someone's ability. Not always, because we saw that sometimes if you're submerged, if you have like a rubber body, your body will still stretch. You just can't really control it. Like someone grabs your neck gonna stretch, your body gonna stay down. It's a bad look. Essentially, if you eat a devil fruit, make sure you have someone on your ship that can swim, because if not, you bound to drown. And if you fall, you better pick yourself back up. Y'all probably. It's not gonna happen though. Another fun fact about the reincarnation process. We have seen exactly one devil fruit get reincarnated right in front of us. Do you guys know what that is? One Piece trivia. 3, 2, 1. Smiley. Smiley, that axolotl that was made by Caesar Clown, perished because it exploded himself, and then we watched it. We watched it reincarnate into a nearby, I think it was like a bushel of apples or something like that. And then we watched the little marks take effect on it, because all the devil fruits had like some swirls or designs on it. I don't know why, but I guess I don't know. In addition to this, we have seen another type of devil fruit that I haven't really touched on with this, and that would be artificial devil fruits. These can be extreme successes, like how Vegapunk was able to replicate a mythical Zoan type devil fruit. He deemed it a failure though, because the color pattern shifted from blue to pink. To him, that's a failure, and I can understand why. However, there are also smile fruits, which makes you lose your ability to express any emotion other than a smile. Whether you are getting beat, whether you are suffering, whether you're watching your loved ones pass away right in front of you, you can only laugh and smile if you consumed one of these fruits. And honestly, that's probably one of the darker fates, one maybe even worse than imploding. I don't know. But artificial devil fruits and smiles will get their own video, I can assure you. Devil fruits were never just about power. After 1,000 episodes and decades of mystery, devil fruits are still one of the greatest enigmas in fiction. They aren't just power, they're a choice. You eat one and your life changes forever. You gain something extraordinary and lose something essential. The sea, the very symbol of freedom, the open seas, the free seas. You lose that because you eat this fruit and it rejects you. And if Vegapunk is right, if devil fruits are born from human desire, then every fruit is proof of humanity's ambition. Someone wished to become fire. Someone wished to become light. Someone wished to become a god. But a devil fruit is only potential. It's the will of the one who eats it that turns it into a legend. So the real question isn't what devil fruit is the strongest. It's what would you do with it? You let me know down below.